Hello, this is Miss J, and today we are doing IGCSE Edexcel Math Paper 1, June 2023. Please watch the previous video for questions 1 to 5. And we're starting with question 6. Simplify 2c to the power of 4 times d to the power of 7, everything to the power of 3. So you should know this from your indices chapter. We have to multiply the exponent, which is inside the bracket, by the exponent outside of the bracket. So we have to multiply 4 by 3 and also 7 by 3 and keeping the base the same. What many students do is they forget that there's a 2 here and they'll just keep the 2, but it's still inside the bracket, which means we have to make it 2 to the power of 3. And then c to the power of 4 will do 3 multiplied by 4, which is 12. And d will be 3 times 7 to the power of 21. And when you simplify this, 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 8. So we get 8 c to the power of 12, d to the power of 21. Find the value of 5y to the power of 0, where y is bigger than 0. So any positive value of y to the power of 0, say 2 to the power of 0, or 5 to the power of 0, or 100 to the power of 0, all of them, they'll be equal to 1. So you do 5 multiplied by 1, doesn't really matter what y is, and we get our answer of 5. So write the answer here. Factorize fully. 16a to the power of 2, b cubed plus 20a cubed times b. So we need to factorize. First, we find the highest common factor of 16 and 20. And that is going to be 4 in this case. So we'll keep 4 outside of the bracket, and we find the common variables of these two values, and we see they have a squared in common, and they also have b in common, and that will be what's outside of the bracket, and we need to do this multiplied by something to get 16a squared b cubed. So we'll be multiplied by 4 to get 16. A squared times a squared, you don't need the a inside the bracket, and we need to multiply by b squared to get b cubed on the when we expand it. And we'll add the plus sign. 4 times 5 is equal to 20. A squared times a will be a cubed, and b stays the same because we already have a b here. So that is going to be our answer, 4a squared b, and inside the bracket 4b squared plus 5a. Factorize x squared plus 9x minus 22. So what I like to do is I like to do the brackets first, put x here, and find minus 22. It can be made of minus 2 and plus 11. So when we do the cross thing, everyone does it differently, so it'll give us minus 2x plus 11x, and that'll give us our 9x we need here. So we just take x plus 11, x minus 2 here, and that will give us the answer. Hence, solve x squared plus 9x minus 22 equals to 0. So we just keep the factorized answer, make it equal to 0. If you learned this, you'll know that the first bracket will be equal to 0, and whatever's in the second bracket will also equal to 0. The first x will be minus 11 because we moved 11 to the other side. x1 is equal to minus 11. And the second x will give us 2. So you'll have 2 answers here, and you can just do write it like this. Moving on to question 7. The region R, shown shaded in the diagram, is bounded by 3 straight lines. Find the inequalities that define R. So we have 3 lines here, which bounds the region R. The first one we see, this is y is equal to -2. And the vertical straight line is x equals to 1. So we already have 2 lines. And the third line passes through y, passes through the y-axis at 4. And this is when we have to find the equation of the line here. So we'll find the gradient first by taking 2 points. So we can take this point at 0, 4, and the point at 1, 6, y2 minus y1, which is the y of the second point minus the y of the first point, over by x2 minus x1 will give us a gradient. So we'll do 6 minus 4 divided by 1 minus 0, which is just 1, and the gradient of this line is 2. Y is equal to mx plus c. We already find our m, which is 2, so we have y is equal to 2x plus c. Now in order to find c, we'll take an actual point on the line. So we can take 0, 4. So we change y into 4, and we change x equal to 0. So 2 times 0 is 0, and that will just leave us with the c. So there you go, we get c equals to 4. So the equation of the line would be y is equal to 2x plus 4 as our line. And we see the region here, all 3 lines are solid. When we have solid lines, it means they're included in our region. If they're dotted, then they're not included. So remember to check if your lines are solid or dotted. So we can first say, since region R is on the left of x equals to 1, we'll say x is smaller or equal to 1. And region R is also above y equals to -2, so we'll say y is bigger or equal to -2. And our third line, which is y equals to 2x plus 4, we can see the region is under the line, so it's y smaller or equal to 2x plus 4. Right, 300 as the product of its prime factors. Show your working clearly. So there's an easy way to do this on your calculator if you're not sure. So if you just type in the number that you want to find. So you type in 300 and you press the equal sign. And then you go shift and press fact. And it will give you the answer, 2 to the power of 2 times 3 times 5 to the power of 2. But I'll show you how to do this without the calculator. So you take 300, and we can do the tree. So you take the first prime number, which is 2. If it's divisible by 2, you write 2 here, and it is. And it'll give you 2 and 150. And we separate 150 again. It can be divided by 2, which is the smallest prime number, 2 and 75. Now 75 cannot be divided by 2 to be an integer, so we go to the next highest prime number, which is 3. So 3 and 25. And now 25 cannot be divided by 3 anymore, so we go to the next one, which is 5, and we get 5 and 5. So it's 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5, and you see that's what we get over here. Part B, find the lowest common multiple of 5a and 7b. Show you're working clearly. So 5a and 7b, we multiply by 5 in a, and we multiply 7 to b. And let's change the way that we write this. So let's write it, a is equal to 2 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 2. And we change b to be 2 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 3 times 5 times 7. To find the lowest common multiple, let's compare our different values. So we compare the ones with the same base of a and b. So 2 to the power of 3 of a and 2 to the power of 2 of b. So 2 to the power of 3 is greater than 2 to the power of 2. So we'll put that. That will be one of the values we use for the lowest common multiple. Next, we compare 3 to the power of 2 and 3 to the power of 3. So 3 to the power of 3 is greater, so we do 3 to the power of 3. And 5 to the power of 2 and 5. 5 to the power of 2 is greater, so we add 5 to the power of 2. And then there's only 1 7, so that will be the greatest. So we just do multiply by 7. So we'll do, this is the same as 8 times 27 times 25 times 7, and that will give us an answer of 37,800, which is our answer. Question 9, solve these simultaneous equations. Show clear algebraic working. So we have 2x plus 9y equals to 14.5, 7x plus 3y equals to 8. So here we can either get rid of the x's in our equation or get rid of the y's. I think I'm going to get rid of the x's. So I can multiply the first equation by 7 and multiply the second equation by 2. So if I multiply 7 by everything, by the whole thing, the whole equation, it will be 2 times 7, 14x, plus 7 times 9, 63y, and we'll get 14.5 times 7, which is 101.5. For the second equation, we multiply by 2, so we have the same value in front of x, so we can get rid of it. So we get 2 times 7, again 14. 3y multiplied by 2 is 6y, and 8 times 2 is 16. Now we subtract these two from each other. 14x minus 14x is 0. We got rid of it. 63 minus 6 will get 57y, and 101.5 minus 16 will give us 85.5, and then we have y is equal to 3 over 2. Now we have to find x, so we just substitute it back into one of our equations. Let's say 7x plus 3y. Instead of writing y, we do 3 over 2, and this is equal to 8. And 3 over 2 multiplied by 3 is 4.5, so we can do minus 4.5 to the other side. So 7x is equal to 3.5. X is equal to 3.5 over 7, which is just 1 over 2. So we can say x is equal to 1 over 2 or 0.5, and y is equal to 3 over 2 or 1.5. Question 10, here are the test marks of 15 students. Find the interquartile range of these marks. The interquartile range is the difference between the third quartile and the first quartile. So in order to find that, we have 15 values in our list. So we'll do 15 plus 1. This is 16, so we do 16 times 1 over 4 to find, it will be 4. So it's the fourth value of the list that makes our first quartile, and the fourth value will be 15. And to find the third quartile, we'll do 16 multiplied by 3 over 4. That will give us the third quartile, and that will give us 12, so the 12th term. And if we count until 12, 12th term will be 25. And we need to find the difference between those, so we'll do 25 minus 15, and we'll get 10, and that is our answer.